welcome to today's episode. Today we are joined by the Bensons. I got it right. Okay, so we call them uncle and auntie, you see. So that's why.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
You know that feeling where you forget someone's their name and you go like, hey uncle, uncle. Especially when you have a baby, you can actually act like you trying to help the baby to call you uncle.
Only Uncle Dom.
Uncle Dom.
It's only Uncle Dom, yeah.
Okay.
She's not.
Alright. You my sis.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So before I introduce today's topic, I'm gonna let you guys introduce yourselves. Tell us who you are, where you met, when did you get married, and how long you've been married for. We want the juicy part of how you actually won her heart. Briefly so.
Yeah, if you say briefly, then it's a problem. I don't look. I'm not good with the dates.
Yeah.
We've known each other now we've been together for 17 years.
Wow.
Sure, you are.
So we met through a mutual friend, and I wasn't her type.
It's always the case.
I was not her type. But I at the time I was maybe a little bit naive or anything. But there were too many strange coincidences that occurred.
Yeah.
Over about a few months.
It was 2 months.
About 2 months of us meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a few. It was too much of a coincidence.
Yeah. Like, do you mind giving an example?
So I met her in one suburb.
Yeah.
That would be considered probably a high density. Let's call it that. And she was visiting her grandmother. I was getting my car fixed by a friend, the one that introduced us. And then I was a few days later doing my own business, and on my way home, I met her in another suburb.
Wow.
Upmarket suburb.
Wow.
And she was waiting for a lift.
Yeah.
She was waiting to catch a lift home, and I gave her a lift.
Wow.
And I took her home, and she had no idea what was going on. She had forgotten me.
So we were introduced by this friend in my grandmother's neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I guess because of the neighborhood, I kind of stereotyped.
It was rough.
It's a rough neighborhood. So I stereotyped and I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
When we were introduced, I was just like, hi. And then when
I don't believe in men.
Men in that area.
Yeah, okay.
My mother always told me, don't date men in that area.
Yeah.
Anyway, when I then jumped into his car the following few days or whatever, I jumped in and I'm like, hi, thanks for giving me a ride. And he's like, hi, Sasha. I'm like, whoa, stalker, why do you know me? Why do you know my name? And he's like, I know you, we met. It was 2 days prior. I'm like, I don't remember that. So I consider that our first meeting. He considers it our second meeting. So
Okay.
but yeah, and that kind of thing happened many times.
Really?
Like bumping into each other in the most strangest places. I mean, even he went from one town to another town for a funeral. He went from Harare to Gweru for a funeral, and while they were in Gweru, Gokwe, and while they were in Gokwe, it was like an old people's funeral, like old. So him and his cousin were like, let's go to Bulawayo, which is another town, for the day. And on their drive to Bulawayo, the two cousins were speaking, and they were like, I don't know anyone that isn't family. And I don't want to go see family. Do you know anyone? And they were both like, we don't know anyone. He says, I know this one girl. I don't even know where she stays. And then the cousin says, I know this one guy. We can get in touch with him. They meet up with the one guy, and then they're out clubbing, and they're all having such a fun time. And then he says to this one guy, he's like, what are the odds you know this one girl? Her name is Sasha. She looks like
you never forgot about her name.
No.
And that one guy goes, That's my sister.
Oh.
Yeah, it was that random.
Yeah.
So those kind of coincidences.
Okay, nice. So you guys obviously dated first. Did you date first, or you just went straight into marriage?
We need to start dating.
I didn't really
So we put the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So she moved. She was relocating to Harare secretly, in secret, and she called me to help her find accommodation for these girls hostels and all of that. And there was there was just no available accommodation.
They were closed for
They were closed for the day.
Intake, yeah.
Yeah, they were closed for intake. And so I said, well, you can come stay by my place. I had a house. I have a house.
Yeah.
Big house.
Yeah.
I said, no, you can come over. It's a big place.
Yeah.
Was my mom with me? Yeah, my mom was staying with me.
Yeah.
You can come. And
Oh, nice.
she never left.
And you
likes to tell people I'm still looking for accommodation.
Wow, that is so good. Okay, cool. Nice love story. I always ask so that I can, and we always like the common thing is, most of the guys who came to hang out with us, they say she never thought I was her type. Yeah. So I'm like, it's always the case until you realize that actually those that are not your type actually marry you, hey?
Yeah.
So if you're watching and you're thinking there's a dude who's not your type, that's actually your husband.
Be on the lookout.
Okay, just to introduce to this topic, we are going to talk about 3 keys that keep the marriage going, which is love, respect, and forgiveness. We spoke about respect in the previous episode, but we touched on it from the angle of respect being a need for men, because we were talking about the needs of a woman and men. So in this one, I still want us to touch it, right? We just want to hear your perspective on respect, right? But I'm gonna let us start with forgiveness. I think is the most difficult one. You hear, I read a lot of love stories, right? And you hear someone going like, in 2020, so-and-so, my husband did this to me. Even I was watching a TikTok video of a 60-year-old talking about how my husband did this when we were 20 or when we were 25.
Wow.
Like, they actually never forgotten. So I just want to know from you guys, what is your view on forgiveness in marriage? Does it really, I know it does have an impact on whether your marriage will work or not, because if I haven't forgiven you, it means I'm not in good terms with you. And for how long am I not going to be in good terms with you, right? Now my question, I want to put it this way, to say, we obviously know it's important, but I want to put it this way, how do you manage to forgive? Like, what do you need in order for you to be able to forgive? If someone is watching and is struggling with forgiveness, how do you get to say, oh, okay, is it intention, or you must want, or what?
Who is forgiving who? First of all.
It's obviously us forgiving you guys. I'm joking.
That is usually the case.
Yeah. Men are always sorry, right?
Yeah, I'm always sorry.
Women are never wrong.
No,
women are never wrong.
For a woman to say I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's hard.
You might.
I think I easily say, do I? I don't.
No.
You might hear the words I apologize.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It's hard to come out of the mouth.
When it comes, when she says it, she really doesn't mean it.
If I'm being honest, I'd rather sweep the ocean. The ocean.
Then say I'm sorry.
Than to say I'm sorry.
Never wrong.
I was not aware that we actually don't say I'm sorry. I thought I was saying it, but my action shows that I'm sorry. Right?
But you do say I'm sorry to our daughter when she falls or something.
And then
But to me, that's the only time I heard you saying I'm sorry.
I don't even know.
I'm joking.
Okay.
But I think for forgiveness from, regardless of who is wrong or whatever the situation is in the marriage, and it can range from anything as small as breaking a glass to infidelity.
Yeah.
But the forgiveness process it works both sides.
Yeah.
You have to both work at it. I don't know if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'll use myself as doing something wrong and she forgiving, having to forgive. In order for me to reassure her, and she says she's forgiven, but for whatever she's forgiving me for, she hasn't forgotten.
Yeah. I think that's the part.
You get it? So
yeah.
I'm going to have to do what it takes, or discover, or I have to reinvent myself to reassure her that her forgiveness is for real, and that she's accepted my apology.
Yeah.
I'm not taking advantage. But as men, obviously, like I said, depending on the level of what I'm going to call quote unquote crime is, you may have to be saying sorry for the rest of your marriage.
Yeah.
As you just mentioned now, a 60-year-old bringing a story that my husband did this so many years ago.
Yeah.
So as a man, you may have to spend the rest of your life saying sorry in different ways for the same thing. But it's your job to reassure, that whatever that glass that you broke, you won't do it again. Yeah.
So, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Japanese term, let me not get it wrong in front of people, but I think it's kintsugi, I think. Guys, please forgive me if I'm wrong. But what it is it's a method that they use to repair broken pottery. So, you drop a vase, it's broken into 1,000 pieces, and then they fix it with, I think, with gold or something like that.
Okay.
And it's never going to be the same. It's not going to be just this piece of clay pot.
It won't be
whatever.
the same
It will
as
never be
how
the
it
same.
was before it was broken.
But it's a new kind of beautiful, so you have to find a different kind of beauty in it. And I think expecting things to be the exact same way that they were prior to, as he calls it, the crime.
Yeah.
I think it's expecting too much. You have to manage your expectations when there's something, especially when it's drastic.
Yeah.
You've got to manage your expectations, and then now, like you were asking, forgiveness is a choice. You have to make the choice, and you have to. And I don't think that it's a once-off choice. This woman that's been grieving for 40 years, the 60-year-old on TikTok that you're talking about, it just takes so much time. It takes daily forgiveness. Every time she sees something, she's got to think carefully and choose forgiveness.
Yeah.
That's
Sure.
my thoughts.
I actually didn't know it can be that deep, hey?
Yeah.
So, there's this, I don't know, essay or advice or recommendation in marriage, but please don't go to bed angry at each other. So, what is your take on that? Have you guys practiced it? Or you still feel, do you still feel that thing out, but I didn't like what you said, Mara, you have to smile, still have to be lovey-dovey. Is that practical, guys? We are still new in marriage, obviously. And we always say we haven't really fought. Yeah, we still, and we hear people that marriage is different stages. So we haven't, gone through all the stages. Yeah. But I would still be angry at things like, why didn't you lock the door? And I remember the words, I'm like, okay, we're going to bed, I have to be nice. But then I feel like I'm letting it go the following day. I didn't really let it go on that day, on the night, but I'm still nice to him. So with your many years in marriage, is that always practical, guys?
I think context is everything.
Yeah.
Because if we're going to take that statement and say don't go to bed angry, I think that's like,
You're sweeping it
I
under
think
the
you're
rug.
sweeping it under the rug. Exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
You held onto it and you just went to bed pretending to smile, but like you're not actually
You're not okay.
okay. I think really the essence of that statement, what do you think, baby? Is to
Talk
say
things out.
no, not necessarily that, but I think the essence of that statement is to say, don't go to bed like with resentment.
Okay.
Yes, angry, you'll be irritable, you'll be upset, or you'll be hurt, or whatever. Those feelings you can't snap them away.
True.
Like we're not robots.
Yeah.
You can't snap them away. But for sure, no matter how angry he is with me, he'll still make that coffee every morning.
Okay. Actually,
So he
it's to
still
say,
loves me.
don't stop
Don't stop living.
loving.
Don't stop
Yeah.
loving and
Yes.
living.
Exactly.
Yes.
We're going through something right now. I'm going to use the term again. I broke the
Yeah.
glass, but tomorrow morning you're still going to get your coffee.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
if you don't want to talk about
Yeah.
breaking off the glass now before we sleep, it's fine.
Yeah.
We will get to it.
But we still talk to each other.
But
We still love each other. You
Love.
still express the love.
yes,
Although we cannot switch off the feelings to say,
No.
I feel disappointed by what you did. And we still need to talk about it when time is right.
Yes.
right.
But I'm still angry. I actually read a message. This other guy that I'm friends with on Facebook, he was saying, this is how I would be angry at my wife. Like, he's showing a screenshot of his message that he sent, like, I think a couple of years ago. He's like, I would say things like, hey, I just wanted to say I love you. Have a good day, but I'm still angry at you. We'll talk about it
So
later.
we do that.
Yeah.
We do that.
Yeah.
Or he does it a lot. But if we're not in a good space, he'll text me and say, I love you.
Yeah.
So it's in a way
Are you
saying,
cold?
Hmm?
Are you cold?
No.
Oh.
it's in a way saying, you know, we're fighting, but I love you.
I love you.
I love
Sure.
that. I must say, I'm a sucker for that one.
Yeah.
Like instantly, I'm just like, okay, fine.
I forgive you. I think generally women, we like that. Like
Yeah.
we love to be pursued. We love to be affirmed
Yeah.
of how much we mean to our husbands. Like if he tells you you're so beautiful,
Yeah.
you are so good, like I love you, have a good day. Those things, like they really, even if you felt like you were disappointed at something that he did, you kind of start forgetting about it. It makes it easy. So what I'm taking from this, like first key that we're addressing here, forgiveness, ke gore, even in your anger or disappointment, because I feel like anger is a big word.
But you
It
can be
can
angry.
be,
Yeah.
yes. Don't stop loving one another.
Yeah.
Don't stop the things that you know your partner loves. Still continue to do them.
Yeah.
Still continue to care for each other. Even if you won't do them smiling and everything, just say, morning baby, here's a coffee. But it's not the same as when you guys are like fine. Wow, I'm learning a lot.
Yeah. So I heard something one time that's implied or says that if you're going through, and if you as a couple, if you view it like that, you'll find it easier. If you realize that, okay, we have an issue, it doesn't matter what the issue is,
Yeah.
but it's not us fighting each other because there's an issue.
Yes.
We are fighting
The
issue
You became
together.
You
So
remain one
so we become a team
Exactly.
fighting the issue,
Yeah.
regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
And if it's the woman that did wrong, it's for her, it's more painful, but she's also got to get to that stage of maturity where I want to keep this relationship, so we are fighting this
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Sure, I love
because
that
if you don't fight
perspective.
that together, then you're fighting each other.
You're gonna fight each
Right.
other.
Exactly.
And that's like already you lost the battle.
Yes.
Once you fight each other, you lost the
You
battle.
become enemies, and that's,
Sure.
yeah.
It takes wisdom and grace, guys,
It does.
to be able to operate on that level. And also, I feel like if you are in this position, it's not too late. The thing is, I feel like most of the time in marriage, we learn on the job.
That's true.
than through the books we read.
That's very
Yes,
true.
that gives us the foundation and everything, but you're gonna get it wrong in order for you to get it right.
Right.
What matters ke gore, when you got it wrong, don't stay there.
Yes.
Try to find out what better ways can we implement, you know, or what better things can we do, because clearly this one does not work. That can also help, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean that's communication.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, like, the breakdown of marriages is like lack of communication or under communicating.
Yeah.
I mean, we were speaking to a couple, and one of the key things for us is we found that they were both saying the exact same thing.
Yeah.
In the fight. They're saying the exact same thing, but they misunderstood each other because they were so busy under communicating. They should have been saying, okay, this is what I hear when you say that. And then he goes, oh, I thought you were saying this.
Okay.
And then she realizes that no, or he realizes that this isn't what we're actually on the same team, we're saying the same thing.
But
Sometimes
we were
just
hearing
have to
it differently.
Exactly. Or we were
Yes.
So you
saying
can
it
never-
differently.
You can never over communicate, right?
No.
No.
It's
No.
impossible.
You rather over communicate.
Yeah.
You should
You'd rather
always.
over communicate.
I mean, it applies in business.
And I think
it
it's the
applies
toughest
everywhere.
thing, hey? Especially those awkward conversations. It's not easy
Yeah.
to have them.
No, it's not. But
It,
Then
they
They have to be
done. They have to be done.
It has to be done. Okay, cool. Moving on to the second key, which is respect. We touched on it. What does respect look like for you guys?
I've been dying to say this. Respect is relative. Respect is relative. For him, respect might be just the tone with which I speak to him.
Yeah.
Whereas for someone else's wife, respect means kneeling on the floor when you give him food.
Yeah.
It's relative.
Yeah.
Or
And that-
being home by 5 o'clock.
That it's relative.
It's relative.
So, in all of that, for me, is then you must understand and know each other well enough to understand what respect means for your spouse.
Yeah.
Respect doesn't mean the same thing across the board.
Yes.
So you have to know each other well enough. Like you really have to get to know each other intimately. Like you know each other. You must be able to finish each other's sentences.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, not
Yeah.
necessarily. But what I'm saying is, you have to have such a good relationship with
Yeah.
each other to know what respect is for them, and in order for you to be able to share it or show it.
Yeah.
I feel like marriage requires you to pay a lot of attention.
Yeah.
You cannot afford to just be ignorant in marriage. You have
No,
to,
you can't.
especially about your spouse, like what they prefer, how they feel respected, you need to be present. You need to
yeah, that's true.
pay attention. And I think in this era of social media, it's easy, and the phones, smartphones, it's easy to not even know who you're married to.
Yeah.
You know, you're still thinking I'm that girlfriend that you met 3 years ago or 5 years ago.
And you've changed.
Kanti, there's so many things that you miss because we are invested here. With people we don't know, socializing with them, you can't even realize that you actually just disrespected me, but you're not aware because you're not paying attention. That's what I'm taking from what you're saying, to say we need to pay attention so that we can know each other, know how your men feel respected, and know how your wife feels respected as well, or how she feels disrespected as well.
Yeah. And it also goes with as you mature in your marriage,
Yeah.
interests change.
Oh, yeah.
Yay.
Interests change. Next thing, I don't like soccer.
evolve.
Next thing, you know, and then it's, if you're busy, you don't recognize the change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at, like you're saying, maybe my understanding of respect may even change. Where now I feel I'm at a stage where I feel, okay, if she makes me coffee in the evening, that's, for me, it's respect.
Yeah.
You know, but she doesn't even realize there's a transition. The thing that couples need to always realize is that there's always a transition. And if you miss the transition, you start to grow apart.
Yes.
You stop growing together. If you stop growing together, you grow apart.
Yeah.
You still grow, but you grow apart.
Yeah.
And then by the time 5 years comes, you wonder, but these two, they were so good. What happened? What happened? But like you said, you're not the same person that he met 3 years ago.
Yes, absolutely.
But has he noticed
No.
the evolution,
Yeah.
or have you noticed his?
Yes.
And that has to be communicated on a daily, like as much as possible. You know.
The daily degree.
I'm learning to be intentional about knowing,
Yeah.
like, your interest. Like, the same way you study about other things, study your spouse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're your best case study, you know? Study them on a daily. That is why we have things like date night. That's where you realize. And also, sometimes maybe you can get clues. Let's say just my view on something. Like maybe something happens and then I give a different view, or he gives a different view. We can learn from those clues to say, oh, is this how
That's how he's thinking now. Yes.
Happy, I also do the same thing. And he's seeing that woman is disrespectful. So you get to learn, or, oh, okay. I actually didn't know. And, you know, I speak to a lot of women and they always say, imagine, is it fair? He says, I disrespected him just because I went out with my friends after work and then I came back home. Is that wrong? Because I sent him a message. Can't the man ore? I prefer that we discuss it up
Yes.
front.
Yes.
That's how he wants it.
That's respect to
That's
him.
how he wants to feel. Not that after work and I just say, hey babe, don't come fetch me. We actually going out for drinks. Bye, see you, love you. Country to him is like, what did you just say?
Yeah.
I like that example.
Yeah.
When we first started being together,
Yeah.
I had to ask for permission to go out.
Yeah.
Babe, please, can I?
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes I would even say to my friend, please, can you ask me in front of him?
Yeah. So that
he
he won't
doesn't think,
he won't
you know. And now we've evolved so much so that we've reached a stage where I can now text and say, I think we're going to go out for drinks on Friday. Or I can, you know, say it to him in the car on the way home on Thursday, be like, tomorrow I think I want to go for drinks. And that's that. We don't have to have this whole roundabout. We evolve.
Yeah, true. And also, I think as you grow, like I remember this one time you were talking about, as you grow with the person, you get to trust them, but not because you didn't, but because you just wanted to build it. It wasn't there, or you know them better to make the right decisions in everything. It could be even in your finances. If I say, hey babe, I just wanted to show you how much we spend on this, and they're like, no, I trust you. We'll talk about it when we have time, don't worry. It takes time. When you start, he would want you to communicate on time, and you know, but as you grow, you realize that no man, we had, and maybe it doesn't even matter to him because you guys have grown so much together.
Yeah, and was one more thing. She mentioned debriefing.
Yeah.
There's a couple we know that has a daily debrief.
Wow.
Sure.
And they are very busy people.
Yeah.
They are business people, both of
Yeah.
them, and they are so busy. But at the end of the evening, especially when they're both around, there's a debrief.
Wow.
So by the next morning, each one knows what's happening with the other.
Yeah. But I love that.
You get it? So
for me, I love communication.
So-
yeah.
obviously, when you're starting out daily, I mean, you might not have much to say because remember, these are business people.
Yeah.
So they have a lot going.
Yeah.
They have different companies. They've
I
got
have
this.
meeting, I have to do this,
yes.
I have to be at the
All of those
airport,
things.
I have to- yeah.
So they do this every day, but that helps with the growth
Yeah, it does.
of the marriage. So with us, we don't really have a daily debrief, but in the evening, we do have a chance to maybe just talk. Okay, what happened in the day?
Especially on the
You
drive
know,
home.
yeah, the drive. So there's times for it. For us, it's the drive home.
Yeah.
From when I fetch her, or like going home,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, this and this happened on my side, what happened on your side. And so it's not how ours work. Work was boring. No, okay, fine. No. But
An actual...
you're interested. I want to know exactly what happened.
Yes.
How did it make you feel? Oh, so the client did this, or whatever. Likewise with me. Then I tell her, and then she might then just give me a different perspective of what I'm feeling or thinking at the time. And the next day we do it again. The next day we do it again. It might be difficult to start because there's not much to debrief, but as much as possible, debrief. And to find...
I'm learning a lot because, like, babe, on Friday I was on leave and Monday I was on leave as well. And I told you when I'm on leave. And you still asked me, why am I not going to work?
You're exposing me now.
You don't go to work today. I'm like, babe, I said I'm on leave. So we need to learn, babe, because it might be funny now, but it might get to a point where I'm that 60-year-old woman. 5 years from now, I'm telling you about in 2023. I told you I was on leave.
No, I knew you were going to work. You were not going to work, but I just wanted to, trust issues.
There's no such a thing. And then, but when in my offers, like when I kept saying, babe, I said I'm on leave. You forgot. He still asked me, well, why are you not waking up? So in my, like, when I was feeling whatever I was feeling.
The last one, I did it on purpose.
No, but when I was feeling what I was feeling, I remembered his words. He would say to me, you don't listen when I tell you things, ne? But I'm like, why? And I told you I have a gig. I'm like, oh, why? Babe, I told you. So you see, I think we need to, for us, I feel like it might not feel like it's a bad thing for now, but
we need to work on it.
We need to work on it. Yeah. So I remembered, I felt like maybe the Holy Spirit was reminding me, Hori, you also forget about his gigs and the details about his gigs. Don't you dare want to say you are offending me because I said I'm on leave.
What was the last question I asked you? I don't remember what I asked, but I really knew what I was asking. I knew what you told me, but I just wanted to
piss me off.
Not really piss you off. But
sometimes you just wanna
just push the buttons.
But honestly, when I was about to say this man doesn't, the Holy Spirit reminded me, you also don't. You would ask him about the gigs and he'd say, you don't listen. I'm like, I listen, I don't know. I told you I have a wedding that I'm booked for this weekend. I'm like, oh, okay, where? But baby, I told you where. I'm playing with who and who and who. And then maybe I'd go like, do you have plans for tomorrow? I just told you I have a meeting. So I'm really learning from that because it happened. And an opportunity for us to practice this, I'm sure it will come.
Yeah.
So sure. We really need to put it in practice. Okay, so the last one is love. We did talk about love languages. Yeah. But now I want to talk about it we also spoke about it as a man's responsibility to love a woman, right? And what is your view on, like, let's say we in marriage, and I just get an idea of what love is from what I see outside of our marriage. Like maybe, for example, Lerato Hangout, I don't know if you know her, they call her Miss Valentine's Day. So every time on Valentine's, she trains because the husband would book the whole stadium and bring this and this, book the most expensive artist, all those things. Maybe that's her love language is really beautiful. And then now I'm bringing it because we're trying to learn and help others learn as well, right? And then we have a whole thing going on to belittle like what your man is doing for you, like to say if he can't pull Lerato Kganyago's husband, he didn't do anything, right? And I feel like maybe young people can grow thinking that is love, right? And you look at many other people on social media and you're like, but look at how the husband posed her. Look at how the husband take her out. And then you want to define it as love. But is love relative? Just like how you were saying respect is, yeah.
It is, I think.
It is.
No, not I think. It is, definitely is.
Can I go to the Bible?
Yes,
Yes, please
definitely.
do.
In the very beginning, when God saw that it wasn't good for man to be alone, what did he say? I will make him a helper suitable for him. The helper suitable for me
Yeah.
is not the helper suitable for Job.
Joe. Yeah.
And the helper suitable for you is not the helper suitable for.
True.
And that's where we get it wrong, because then society and social media is now dictating and steering the way we view love,
Yeah.
or view marriages, view relationships. So
We can even give an example with a man who's really trying.
Yeah.
Maybe next door gifts are big cars, and then when in your home gifts are just quality time or
Yeah.
flowers, right? And is that what you're saying, Hore? Where you are able to appreciate and you have the grace and the patience to support your man until he's at a point where he can be able to do all those things for you. You are still loved, right? Even if he's not booking a stadium.
yes.
For you, it does not mean you are not loved, right? Okay.
But then on the other hand, the man must try
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
So again, you said you spoke about love languages. I'm a hopeless romantic. She can tell you.
Yeah.
I don't just buy flowers.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like that Taylor Swift song. I can buy myself flowers. Who's it? Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
They're the
Yeah.
same person. Yeah.
Anyway.
Same WhatsApp group, no? I'm giving away my age. I don't know this. But
Yeah.
anyway. Yeah, but it's like I have to make an effort. So I have been trying. So special occasions, at least. Special occasions, try and do something, because my love language is not... what's my love language?
Words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation.
Okay.
It's not gifts.
Okay.
You get it?
Yeah.
So because my love language is words of affirmation, I'm just saying, oh, happy birthday, I love you, you're doing so great, my love.
And for me, it's not enough.
And for her, it's not enough.
True.
But I'm using my love language
To love her.
on you, on her. It doesn't work that way. It's for me to understand
Yeah.
her love language and for her to
Yeah.
understand mine. And then at least you have a balanced,
Balance, Okay.
situation. Yeah.
When do you
When
feel
live in-
loved?
Sorry?
When do you feel loved?
So, because we evolve and life changes our perspective on everything, currently I don't even know what my love language is.
It's possible, ne? To actually have to think about it. Too.
I don't. It
What's
used to
my
be
love language
quality
again?
time. Now,
Okay.
I think I'm torn between acts of service because my life has become so busy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm torn like in so many different places and I've got my finger in so many pies. So if you want to help me or if you want to show me love, help me. Do the dishes or
Yeah.
do this while I do that. Then again, I think partially another love language for me at the moment is gifts.
Okay.
I don't know. I never used to care about gifts. In fact, it used to be at the bottom of my, when it still used to be quality time, it used to be at the bottom. Now it's right at the top. So I'm not quite sure yet.
Okay.
I haven't taken the test in a while. But
When do you
because
feel
we
loved?
evolve.
Every day.
Like when I do what?
I like food.
When I cook.
For me, yeah, when you actually listen to me.
Act of service.
Yeah, just one. You got one time to actually listen to me. For the
When
first
you tell
time,
me.
you just look at me and like act as if you're listening to me.
Okay.
No, I'm not saying she doesn't listen to me. She does.
Love is a choice.
True.
It's just like the forgiveness that we spoke about earlier. I believe truly that love is something you have to make that choice every day. I was thinking about that commandment that says love thy neighbor. And it's the greatest commandment. But if you think about your neighbor, maybe not your literal neighbor, but your neighbor, whoever's in your vicinity is your neighbor, right?
Yeah.
If you go to work, there's definitely someone there that's not worth, that you, in your mind, in your natural mind, is not worth loving.
Yeah.
But you have to love them. That's the greatest commandment.
Yeah.
So love then becomes a choice.
Yeah.
You have to make an effort to love. Loving is not, it's not a feeling.
It's a doing word.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love the way you put that,
Yeah.
exactly. It's not a feeling. It's not butterflies. It's not, it's not even the gifts, the lerato gifts. It's not even the act of service. Love is a choice that you make.
A decision.
It's a decision. It's a daily thing that you've got to do, and it's like a minute by minute. It's a
Gift
play
and
by
everything
play.
is the effect of your
Yes.
decision.
Exactly.
You first must want to love them.
Exactly.
You make that decision, and then as a result,
The rest
there are
follows.
gifts. As a result, there's coffee in the morning. As a result, there's,
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. I think we've come to the end of the episode. Unless if you'd
Already?
like to, unless if you'd like to add anything, any pointers, anything, any comment regarding love, forgiveness, and respect.
I talked a lot.
Closing remarks.
I talked a lot, so I'm good. I'm good. I feel like this.
Yeah, I just think to the men out there that are watching that when it comes to respect,
Yes.
forgiveness. No, sorry, not respect. Forgiveness. Because you're the man, then you're the priest of the home. You are going to have to do most of the work.
Yeah.
It's just a natural occurrence most of the time. That's in marriages. It's usually the female that needs to forgive.
Yeah.
So you that's been forgiven need to work.
Like what you're saying, assuring her.
Reassuring
Yeah.
and
That her forgiveness
affirming and showing that be present.
Yeah.
Be present. And it will be good.
On that note, I will say something. I was thinking about it earlier on the drive here, how a woman's demeanor, the way that a woman is, or a wife, or a partner is towards you. A woman is a mirror. It's a direct reflection of the way you as a man loves her. You love her, right?
Yeah.
She shows you back. It's I am a mirror of who you are to me.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
Sure.
That is so true. So you're gonna be mindful as a man. I think it goes to a man being a leader.
Yeah.
Right.
It's more of a function than a title.
Yes.
It's more of what you do on a daily. In one of the videos that we actually did on our anniversary, I asked people to ask me questions, and they said, what is the most thing that your husband has ever done that is so valuable, that you value so much? Then I said, it's how he lives. Without him realizing, I learned from him how things must be done. When it comes to transparency, access to each other's phones, it's how he lives. That I'm able to say, oh, okay, this is how we do things, how he loves my family. I'm able to honor his family back. How he loves my mom, I'm able to take his family, like, you know. But not to say, Huri, you wait for them to do so. But we are saying the way a man lives has a huge impact on what you're going to get in return, especially from your woman. This was so good. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for coming. We're literally learning so much through this series. We appreciate you. We love you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
time.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, you know what you need to do. Subscribe if you are new. If you are the VIP, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and share with your friends. Love you. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.